Hi, I'm Chuck Hester, a correspondent with WRAL TechWire, and joining me today is Rashida Hodge. Rashida is with Microsoft, and I will let her introduce herself. Rashida, tell us about you and who you are as far as what you do at Microsoft.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much for having me, Chuck. So currently I am the corporate vice president for data and AI at Microsoft. In my current role, I'm responsible for customer success globally for all of our data and AI products. So in this role, my team and I, we bring technical breadth, technical depth to help our customers understand how to implement, or I like to say adopt and gain value from all of our data and AI services. This can be from databases to analytics to AI. And so I honestly think I have one of the best roles in the company because I get to work with emerging technology. I get to see various ways customers are adopting the technology, and I can help them in their adoption. And I also get to provide feedback to our engineering team on customer challenges, ease of use, usefulness, as well as product, improvements across the board.
Excellent. Let's talk about your career journey. Tell some background on how you got started and how you got to where you are today.
Wow. So, you know, Caribbean born, growing up on a small island, St. Thomas, part of the US Virgin Islands. Most maps don't even show it, but we're there. I promise you. Raised by teen parents that really instilled in me a foundation of belonging, a sense of purpose, pushing through to succeed, but yet being humble. I actually learned about engineering through reading a book. I'll never forget. I can never remember the name of the book, but read a book. It talked about an engineer solving a problem. And I went to my mom and I said, I want to be an engineer. And my mom said, what is that? And I said, I don't know, but it sounds absolutely amazing. And so I had the great fortune of having parents that were super curious, and we went on this journey together, which ultimately took me to North Carolina State University, where I decided to get a degree in industrial engineering. So I have both my bachelor's and my master's from industrial engineering, from NC State. And it's interesting because I always like to say the sort of the fear and trepidation of moving from a small island, to North Carolina, was certainly there. But that's why North Carolina and actually NC State is so special to me, because it really sort of moved from being a strange place to being my second home. Over the years, I've lived and traveled to several countries, over 70, in fact, as I've held multiple roles and different titles across my career. But one of the things I'm super deeply grateful for, and I think is a great cornerstone of my career journey, is the preparation I received as a North Carolina State, alum. And so, quite frankly, any service I have provided through my walks of life, to North Carolina has been in response to that, and really a response to, I like to say just the generosity, the kindness, and making me feel at home, which is a big part. I don't think that my career journey would be what it is if I didn't really have that foundation. I'm coming from the Virgin Islands, but also the foundation and the preparation that I was able to garner at NC State. After NC State, I joined IBM, where I began my professional career, spent close to 20 years. And again, it was another life-changing experience for me. I completed 2 international assignments, one in Bratislava, Slovakia, the other in Shenzhen, China, held multiple roles across the company, ranging from development, product management, and sales, so really getting a breadth of, services. So when I look at my career, I like to say that it's a journey, just like Robert Frost said, right? 2 roads diverged in the road, and I took the one less traveled by, and it's made all the difference. And I think for me, that's really how I would describe it.
Yeah. So, what do you think is your proudest accomplishment? I mean, you've done a lot.
My proudest accomplishment. Let's see. That's a good question. Look, what I would say is that I have so much to be grateful for. Again, coming from a small island, 32 square miles, like I mentioned, that most maps don't even show, I could not have created this journey. And honestly, I didn't even know it existed, Chuck. So I'm grateful that I was a product of my imagination, not a product of my environment. And I've been given so much grace. I believe as leaders, we are required to live a life of significance, which is not about what we do for ourselves, but what we do for others. And so I'm vocal about diversity and inclusion because, especially as a woman of color, I want others to know that we belong in these spaces and we're worthy of these spaces. And so I'm really most proud of that, right? Beginning this journey on not just success for myself, but creating a life of significance by being there for others and supporting others. I created a endowment at NC State in the College of Engineering for just that purpose, helping to reduce the financial burden, of students pursuing their engineering degrees, and also, name the main foyer of Fitzwilliam Hall, one of the engineering buildings on NC State's Centennial campus, in honor of my mom, because I want others to know that you can build from your circumstances and finesse it into your own greatness. My mom was a teen mom. Society, for many reasons, said she and I should not succeed, but we said otherwise. And so I want to continue to challenge myself daily to live a life of significance. And that's what I want to be proud of. And I'm proud that I'm beginning to make those steps.
Yeah. So how do you see your role in the Triangle business ecosystem?
Look, I would say that, as I look at, my role, I mean, like I mentioned to you, like I have a global role, right? So I have the opportunity to see the applicability of this exciting space of data and AI across continents and different industries. But, I think as a tech executive in the region, I get the opportunity to be a local leader on the forefront of innovation where I can inspire young adults, young entrepreneurs on the applicability of the technology, but also the importance of STEM, how they can have an impact in STEM, and really collaborate with leaders, both in leading in the private sector, but also in academics as well, to help really shape these critical advancements. As an alum of both NC State and Duke, I consistently give back to these communities through service and education and recruitment. Actually, at the end of March, Microsoft, we held a Student Minority Day where we hosted key high schools from across the region at NC State and educated them on technology, inspired them to be curious about tech, even beyond Microsoft, right? This wasn't just about Microsoft, but just tech in general, and just shared elements of what is a day in the life of the possibilities of entering this exciting field. And one of the students from the North Carolina School of Science and Math that attended said that the event provided them with a perspective of these careers are not impossible for me. And, there was another student that said the event, really provided a perspective that they can do so much more than they ever thought of beforehand. And so that's the role that I want to play. Back to my earlier point about like how like we can really ensure that we bring a richness within this ecosystem and a level of equity and accessibility across the ecosystem in the Triangle Intact. I really want to be a part of that, and I see my role as pretty important and key in doing just that.
Right. One last question for you. What's your forecast for the industry in the next 5 years? It's moving fast.
Oh my gosh. 5 years, that seems like a century from now, Chuck. Look, I think if you look at the data and AI space, it is changing every single day. I mean, just look at the current pace of innovation we're seeing in the industry, the investments that are being made, the innovation that is being ushered in. Like you said, it's moving fast. I actually do not have a forecast because I will for sure get it wrong and miss it like the weather. But what I will say is that it's an exciting time, and to see us ushering this technology that will continue to change positively what we do, how we do things, and also, most importantly, how we continue to democratize access and opportunity of these technologies, but also continue to make them available, equitable, and also do so in a very responsible way. And so I think there's so much that's going to happen, and we all play, not just for us that's in tech, but I think we're also learning that It's also an industry, I call it an and versus an or. It's not just about the builders of the technology, but also the users of the technology, and us coming together to really ensuring that it's not about the feature or function, but it's the use case, how we are using the technology and how we are driving large scale access. So my forecast is positive, optimistic. I don't declare the outcome. I think similar to the upcoming Wolfpack Final Four game this weekend, I'm positive and optimistic, but I'm enjoying the excitement, the hopefulness, and the energy that's certainly here in the Triangle for the
Mhm.
and for the Wolfpack Nation.
Yeah, that was going to be my last question. You beat me to the punch, but that's great. Rashida Hodge, I greatly appreciate you taking the time today, and thank you for your contributions to the Triangle technology community.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.